How's it going? Everyone welcome to EndingFlix. A old man's final wish is simple. He wants his ashes scattered in the lake where he spent the best moments of his life with his wife. Now, his wife is determined to honor that wish. She travels to that peaceful lake, but what happens there is something she could never imagine. The movie opens with a woman named Barb sitting alone in her house looking heartbroken. In front of her is a small urn holding her husband's ashes. He is gone. Before he passed, he asked her to spread his ashes in Hilda Lake, the place where he first met her. Barb gently looks at an old photo of the two of them together. Then she takes a deep breath, grabs the urn, and heads outside to her car. It is the middle of winter. Snow covers everything in sight. Even though the weather is rough, Barb is determined to fulfill her husband's last wish. She starts driving, and the radio warns that the storm is about to get worse. The roads will soon be dangerous. But the snowfall grows heavier and heavier until she can barely see the road ahead. The blizzard becomes so intense that Barb can't tell where she is going anymore. She pulls over, takes out a map, and tries to figure out the correct path. Two different roads stretch out in front of her, but the map doesn't help much. She steps outside to take a closer look. Suddenly, she hears a loud cracking noise in the distance. With no other clue to follow, she decides to head in that direction. A short drive later, she finds a small wooden cabin. Outside, an old man is chopping wood. As she approaches him, she notices dark red stains in the snow. It looks like blood. Before she can make sense of it, the old man turns and sees her. He is startled and drops the log from his hands. Barb quickly apologizes and explains she didn't mean to scare him. She tells him she is trying to get to Hilda Lake but lost her way. Can he help her? The old man replies that the lake is on the other side of the hill. Barb points at the blood on the snow and asks if he is hurt. He shakes his head and says it is just deer blood. He is fine. Barb hesitates for a second, then gets back into her car and continues toward the lake. At last, she reaches Hilda Lake, the place where she and her husband first met. After their wedding, they often returned here to fish and spend quiet days together. Now the lake is frozen solid, an endless sheet of white ice. Memories flood her mind, and she grows emotional, standing alone with her heavy heart. She picks a spot and breaks through the layer of ice so she can scatter his ashes into the water below. But before she can do it, a gunshot echoes across the frozen lake. She jumps and rushes behind her car to hide. She peers out and sees a young woman running, terrified. Her hands are tied, and right behind her is the same old man. The girl falls in the snow. The man catches up, grabs her, and drags her back toward his cabin. Barb watches everything, frozen in fear. She realizes that girl is in serious danger. She pulls out her phone to call the police, but there is no signal. The storm has cut off all network coverage. With no help coming, she loads her belongings back into the car and tries to get away. But the deep snow traps her tires. The car refuses to move another inch. Barb has only one choice. She must save the girl herself. She heads toward the cabin again. When she gets close, she sees that the old man has left. The house is quiet, and Barb steps forward, knowing she is about to face something far more dangerous than a winter storm. She runs to the house, but the door is locked. She looks through a small window and sees the basement below. The kidnapped girl is tied to a chair, her mouth covered so she cannot scream. Barb whispers, asking if she is alone down there. The girl nods yes. Suddenly, Barb hears engines approaching. This time, there are two vehicles. The old man has returned, and he is not alone. His wife is with him, and she is holding a gun. Barb hides and listens. She learns the truth. The old man kidnapped the girl because his wife told him to, and now they are planning to kill her. Barb quickly goes back to the basement window. She writes on the glass that she will help the girl no matter what. Then she rushes back to her car. Meanwhile, the old man's wife steps outside. There is blood coming from her nose, and she notices a glove near the window. She knows someone has been here. She moves to the basement window and sees the message Barb wrote, promising to save the girl. Realizing someone intends to rescue their captive, the woman runs to her husband. She demands to know who came here. He admits a lady stopped by earlier, asking for directions to Hilda Lake. The wife grows furious. If that woman saw the girl, they must kill her too. She grabs her gun and the two of them head toward the lake. They find Barb's ice fishing setup near the water. They creep forward carefully. The old man takes the lead. Then the ice cracks beneath him and he plunges straight into the freezing lake. Barb has set a trap. and he walked right into it. His wife manages to pull him out, shaking and terrified from the cold. At the same time, Barb reaches their house. She races down to the basement and finds the girl. Chains hold her tight, and Barb can't break them. Barb assures her that she will save her, no matter what it takes. She runs upstairs and starts flooding the house with water. She sprays the fire in the fireplace and soaks their bedding and belongings. As she steps outside, the old man's wife opens fire on her. The first bullet hits Barb, wounding her. More shots follow, but Barb manages to escape into the snowy night. The couple returns inside. Water is spilling everywhere, even through the basement ceiling. Their tablet is buzzing, and every corner of the home is soaked. The old man can barely stand. He is shaking violently from falling into the lake. Barb reaches her car and checks her wound. The bullet only grazed her arm, but then she sees something worse. Her wedding ring is missing, the ring her husband gave her. Her heart sinks. She rushes back to the hole in the ice where she set the trap. She searches for it, but the ring is gone. A memory hits her hard. Her husband proposed to her with that very ring. It is priceless to her, a piece of their love. She cannot lose it. Back in the present, she spots the old man's gun near the ice. She picks it up. Her mind is clear. She will save that girl, no matter what. She starts toward the cabin again. Meanwhile, the old couple sits inside their vehicle. The old man's clothes are soaked, and he is trembling from the cold. His wife tells him they must finish everything before sunrise. She spent 10 years working in an operating room. They will do the procedure near the lake, so the police never find evidence. When that is done, they will get rid of Barb too. They shove the girl into the back of their vehicle. The old man remembers that he left his gun by the lake. His wife explodes with anger, but they have no choice. They leave the property. Barb arrives at the house once more. She rushes to the basement, but the girl is gone. She realizes they have taken the girl and left. Barb's arm is in severe pain. The wound is still open and she has no choice. She stitches it herself. After that, she breaks the window of the old man's truck and uses the truck radio to contact the police. She tries to explain the entire situation and give the exact location. But right then, the old man returns and attacks her. Barb refuses to back down. She fights back, injures his leg, and points the gun at him. The old man pleads for his life. He tells her he did everything because his wife forced him. His wife is very sick. The kidnapped girl had tried to end her own life before, so his wife believed she was the right target. But now he understands how wrong he was. He regrets listening to his wife. He is freezing and says he needs a doctor. He also has Barb's wedding ring, which he returns to her. Barb believes he is telling the truth. She tells him that if he really wants to do the right thing, he must take the truck to the nearest town and inform the police first. Then he should go to a hospital. He agrees. Before leaving, he gives her some pills to help with the pain. He drives away. On the road, his wife suddenly appears. She asks where he is going. He tells her he is badly injured, freezing, and needs medical help. He says everything they planned is wrong and they need to stop now, but her nose begins to bleed again. She says if she leaves this place, she will not survive. Then she raises her gun at her husband. Meanwhile, Barb reaches her own car. She opens the fuel tank, sets it on fire, and pushes the vehicle forward. Thick smoke rises into the sky, hoping it will signal any nearby police. A few seconds later, the car explodes. Soon after, she hears a vehicle approaching on the road. She rushes out and sees it is a police car. She tells the officers everything and directs them toward the old man's cabin. The officers step out, guns ready, and move toward the wife's parked car. But the old man's wife bursts out and opens fire on them. Both officers are killed instantly. She then shoots at Barb. Barb dives out of her car with her own gun and fires back. Her shot hits the woman's leg. Barb runs toward the woman's vehicle to hide behind it. She looks inside and sees the old man's lifeless body. His wife has killed him too. Barb slips behind the cabin to stay out of sight. The wife fires again, hitting a shed roof above Barb. The structure collapses and Barb falls, losing consciousness. When she wakes up, she is in the basement. The girl she has been trying to save is right beside her, both of them trapped in the dark. Barb struggles with all her strength until she finally frees her hands. She wants to escape with the girl right now, but when she searches for a way out, she realizes the door has been locked from the outside. There is no exit. The next morning, the old man's wife drags both Barb and the girl to the lake. A surgical tent has already been set up there. When they step inside, they see a full human liver transplant kit. That's when everything becomes horrifyingly clear. The old man's wife is dying. Her liver is failing. She wants to remove the girl's liver and transplant it into herself. When Barb hears this, she pleads with her. She tells her to let the girl go and take her liver instead. The woman refuses. She says Barb is too old and her liver is useless. She orders Barb to tie the girl to the operating table. Barb ties her, but she loosens the ropes on purpose. She slips a sharp nail into the girl's hand so she can free herself later. Then Barb is forced onto the surgical bed. The old man's wife shoots Barb. Barb falls, but she's still alive. The woman turns toward the girl, whose body already has markings drawn on it, showing exactly where she plans to cut. But before she can continue, Barb rises and attacks her. A fierce fight breaks out inside the tent. In the chaos, a lantern crashes to the ground. Flames spread fast. The tent catches fire and the two women tumble outside, still fighting. A gun lies in the snow. They both scramble for it, but the old man's wife grabs it first. She points it at Barb and pulls the trigger. Click. Nothing. She's out of bullets. Enraged, the woman drags Barb toward the same hole in the ice that Barb created earlier. She plans to push her in and end everything. Inside the burning tent, the girl cuts her tape with the nail and breaks free. She runs outside just in time to see Barb being dragged across the ice. Barb knows she has only one chance left. She uses her remaining strength to wrap her handcuffs around the woman's legs. Then she throws herself into the icy water, pulling the woman down with her. They plunge deep beneath the surface. The girl runs to the edge of the ice hole, crying out for Barb, but it is too late. Barb has disappeared into the dark water with the old man's wife. Under the surface, Barb pulls a small box from her clothing. It holds her husband's ashes, just as he requested in his final wish. She releases them into the lake, the place where their love began, the place they always cherished. She has honored his last wish, and she has saved the young girl. Above, the girl searches the snow-covered ground and finds a photograph. It's Barb and her husband smiling together years ago, taken right here at the lake during one of their happiest moments. The girl keeps the photo with her and steps forward into a new life, free at last. And with that, this story comes to an end. Hope you enjoyed the journey. I'll see you again with another story soon.